How's it going, everybody? Hope you all are having a great week. So I'm heading back from the town of Pioche, Nevada right now. I was just at a land auction here in Lincoln County, and I picked up 2.5 acres of raw land right outside the Area 51 back gate, just outside Rachel, Nevada. So I actually haven't seen this land yet. I bought it sight unseen. I got it for a really good deal up at the auction. So I'm gonna go head to Rachel right now and check out this parcel of land that I just bought. Let's head out there and see what it looks like. I don't think there's gonna be anything on it. It should just be raw land. But again, I don't know for sure what it's going to look like. So yeah, let's hit the road. So yeah, I managed to score this parcel for literally 2,000 bucks. 2.5 acres of land for 2,000 bucks. Find me another place in this country where you can score a deal like that. Anyways, I don't know exactly what I'm gonna do with it yet. Short term, probably throw a couple of Conex boxes to store some equipment, and I wanna dig a well and make a little area to store my bus, because I honestly hate storing that bus in Vegas. It's no good. But yeah, I'm hoping I can find it here. The Google Maps directions did not want to take me down this road. It basically does not exist, kind of like Area 51. It should be a left-hand turn coming up here pretty shortly. So yeah, this parcel is pretty far out towards the edge of town, out on the outskirts. You got all these farms out here. It's crop circles. I'm pretty sure they're growing alfalfa. Or if you ask Lou Elizondo, these are giant UFOs. Only joking. Yeah, according to the GPS pin, it should be right here. Of course, I haven't surveyed it, so I don't know exactly where the corners are, but this should be roughly it. Got that good old dome house out here. There's not a lot out here, just some little clusters of trailers in the distance. Luckily with 2.5 acres, I can get kind of a good buffer for whatever I put on here. And sending the drone up, I can make out the back gate over here. Of course, it's a pretty wide angle lens. If I had a telephoto, it would look a lot bigger, but you can make out the beige colored buildings. There is an access road to my west that's visible from the property here, and it looks to be pretty heavily frequented by base traffic, specifically vehicles coming in from the Tonopah direction. What I'm assuming was a camo dude just went flying by absolutely fast. It was probably like 65, 70 miles an hour on this dirt road. So I'm gonna see if I can catch up to him real quick as he's making the right turn towards the back gate. Boy, once I hit the paved section, I like completely lost sight of him. I don't even see him in the distance. Does look like there may be a tourist car parked way up near the front gate taking some pictures, which may mean that the camo dude is hanging back somewhere because they want to avoid opening the gate at all costs when there's tourists there. Yep, sure enough, there's actually two vehicles. Now, smaller one in front is probably another base employee, and then I believe that 2500 crew cab there in the back is a camo dude. Well, now that that tourist is gone, it looks like they're bolting for the gate. Let's see what's going on at the Rachel Gate today. It's funny, I actually used to have a sticker on this no drone sign. It was up there for a couple of months, but I guess the base finally saw fit to remove it. I swear they moved this FLIR camera up a bit closer to the fence, probably in the last year or so. It's not pointing at me currently, so either there's something more interesting further up the road, or security is sleeping on the job. So there's probably some camo dudes spying on me from the hills up there, but you know who isn't spying on me? Scammers and identity thieves. And that's all thanks to today's video sponsor, Incogni. I'm big on protecting my digital privacy, and unfortunately in this day and age that can feel like an impossible task. You have these data broker companies that gather up our personal information, and they publish that online for anybody to find, including scammers, identity thieves, etc. Normally, if you want to remove yourself from the internet, you'd have to go through and send takedown requests to all these individual companies. There's hundreds of them out there, and that could take forever. Who has time for that? Now with Incogni, they automate the entire process. So all you have to do is sign up for their service, and they'll handle sending the takedown requests to these data broker companies for you. So you don't have to worry about it at all. They've also rolled out a new custom removals feature where they'll take down your information from websites you send them directly. Just send them the URL and they'll handle the rest. Personally, it's a huge load off my mind when I Google myself and see that extremely private information like my phone number, email, address no longer comes up. Remember, if the scammers and identity thieves can't find you, they can't target you. Take back your data today by joining Incogni. Go to incogni.com/uncanny and use code UNCANNY at checkout to save yourself 60% off an annual plan. That's code UNCANNY to save yourself 60% off an annual plan. So while I'm here, next up I'm going to take you guys up into the foothills of the Bald Mountain area. There's a part of the Area 51 perimeter that cuts through this area that I haven't really explored at all. And I actually heard kind of an interesting, kind of an outlandish rumor that somebody told me about something they found in this area. So I want to scout that out just for fun to see what we can find up here. Now, this is total speculation. I don't know this person who made this claim, but supposedly he was out hiking in the foothills of the Bald Mountain area over here, and he claims that he stumbled on a tunnel that he went in and came out on the other side with a view overlooking down on Groom Lake. So, you know, I'm out here. I got nothing better to do. I'm gonna go crawl around in the mountains and see if I can find this alleged tunnel. And I have rough coordinates to what I think he may have stumbled on. On Google Maps, I see some piles of dirt. It looks like they could be mine tailings. Hey, what's up, guys? Got a bunch of cattle here from the Anchor Brand Ranch nearby. So I'm coming up on the old excavator that was dumped up here, who knows how long ago. I've shown this thing on the channel before on a really old video way back in the dinosaur days of this channel. But let's go ahead and pull over again and check it out again. Hopefully there's still no graffiti or any vandalism to it, because that was one thing I really liked about it, is that it was pretty pristine given its age. Yep, the excavator's still here. So this excavator was part of the Andes mine operations, which ran from 1955 to 1957, producing mercury. It's amazing how much of the paint is still on this thing. You can even still read the model number, a Bucyrus Erie 29B. I'll put a link to my old video that has a more thorough exploration of the Andes mine area, but for today I'll be continuing onward. I parked the car further up the road and I'm going to set off on foot up this old mining trail. I love exploring the ruins of old mining infrastructure here in Nevada. Around here there's the Tempayut mine on the other side of the highway, a tungsten mine that's absolutely massive. It was actually purchased recently though, and I believe plans are in motion to reopen it in the not too distant future. There's where we came from, the outskirts of Rachel, down there with the alfalfa crops. And of course you have the infamous situation of the Groom mine, with the Sheehan family owning the claim that sat inside the restricted zone overlooking Area 51. The feds eventually were able to seize that land after a long legal battle. Up this road, according to my research on the website mindat.org, there are a few silver and gold prospects, but nothing that would indicate any particularly deep tunnels. Well, there's a sign that I'm on the right track to something. Got the remains of an old wood structure and some old rusty cans. Definitely the remains of an old mining camp. Well, I've reached the area that was visible on Google Earth. Definitely some excavating took place here. Let's see what we have on top. Well, there is a mine up here. How about that? Unfortunately, it's a vertical shaft. I was really hoping it would be a horizontal shaft so I could at least have a chance of exploring it. I don't have a death wish, nor am I interested in becoming the next Kenny Veach, so I won't be crawling down there. I'd be very surprised though if this opened up anywhere that has a view of Area 51, but I suppose without checking myself, I can't really rule it out. If any of you out there have professional experience rappelling down old mines and want to take a crack at it, feel free to shoot me an email. It really amazes me sometimes the kind of things that manage to make their way up the side of a mountain at some of these old mine sites. Like, check out this old Chrysler hood. Let's head the rest of the way up the ridge and see what we can see from the top. Reaching the top of the hill, down below we have Stewartwell Road and the F4 Phantom crash site. And to my left, we actually have a pretty sweeping panoramic view of the restricted airspace around Area 51. This would be a fantastic place for sky watching. I can even see way out there what I presume is a radar site in Groom Valley, north of Area 51. Zooming in on Stewartwell Road, we can see a white Ford F-150 heading up, belonging to one of the camo dudes. Roaring over the mountaintops comes a pair of F-16s from Nellis. Man, you really gotta love those aggressor paint jobs, that's for sure. So for tonight's campsite, I'm gonna go down to Stewartwell Road and find a spot that's on a hilltop, kind of adjacent to the Camo Dude perch. They'll usually sit up on this hill when the road sensors here go off so they can observe people heading up to the gate or to the nearby F4 Phantom crash site. And we do have a Camo Dude up in the perch right now. I think I snuck up on him. I think he thought I was going to the Stewartwell Road gate, but I made a right turn and joined him up here. What's wrong, buddy? You don't want to hang out? Up there directly in front of me is the Camo Dude perch. I heard tire tracks heading back down the road, so it seems like he left me alone for now, but as usual, I'm sure they'll be back later. Sure enough, after the sun is set and in the pitch black hours before the moon rises, the dudes are slowly making their way back up the road, driving with their headlights off and likely using night vision to navigate. The passenger side window's down and it looks like they're scanning the hillside to see if I'm still here, possibly using thermal optics like I am. My car actually isn't visible from the road, but I'm sure they pick me up on whatever night vision setup they're running. Hey, you can't see it through the thermal here, but they're flashing their brights at me. Sorry, dudes, I'm dug in for the night. After the Camo Dudes left me alone in the early hours of the morning, I saw something unusual, something that appeared directly over Area 51 in their airspace. What looks like columns of light or spotlights shining up from the base. Spotlights? Directed energy weapons? Drop me your theories down in the comments. All right, up bright and early this morning, I'm going to pack another adventure into today's episode, and I'm going to be returning back to a facility that I explored briefly a couple of months ago, back during the winter, and I'm talking about the Halligan Mesa electronics communications facility that's connected to Area 51 via a direct microwave link. And last time I tried to explore it, I found that the road leading up to it was blocked off with a U.S. government property sign. Upon doing some research, I found that they basically had a legal claim over the road up to the facility and the small area on top of the hill. But if I go up to the back of the mesa and climb the mountain, I can actually get theoretically right up to the fence line and take a look inside this facility. So last time it was a little too snowy and icy for me to take the climb. So on today's video, I'm going to go ahead and see if I can do that. You might remember from last time too, there was some sort of big construction or expansion project underway. So hopefully in today's video, I'll be able to see exactly what they were building, what they were expanding on, and compare it to historical satellite imagery to see what exactly has changed. So let's see what we find. So I'm going to try and get as close to the base of the mesa as I can before starting my climb. I'm on this little overgrown 2-track that doesn't look like it's seen any use really in decades. That huge white radar dome you can see there looming over the edge of the mesa, and actually immediately it makes me realize there's something different here from last time when I was here. I specifically remember not being able to see a radar dome last time, even though I knew I should be able to, and I think it's because the old one was demolished and replaced with this new shiny one. The last time I was here, it was after they removed the old one, but before this new one was installed, so that answers at least one question regarding the construction. All right, so I'm right at the base of Halligan Mesa right now, so you can see the dome and the top of the other structure up there. I'm gonna kind of work my way up this crevice and then probably go around the back side of the mesa and then walk along whatever fence line there is. I'll bring up the most current satellite view here, and we can see at the far end we have some old buildings that look like they've been here for quite some time, probably from when the place was first constructed. It's unclear if they're still used for anything, but then you have the main complex with the radar dome and dishes down here. Now this is clearly the old dome, given that this satellite image hasn't been updated since I was here last. Now the Halligan Mesa facility is part of the same public land withdrawal as the nearby facility called Base Camp, which originally was built for the Central Nevada underground nuclear testing site. Before that was shut down and the facilities were taken over by the US Air Force. Now it's used in part as a logistics and support facility for Area 51, and also has had some pretty interesting operations run out of it historically. Halligan Mesa up here has dishes pointed at both Base Camp and at Area 51 via Bald Mountain, giving it a microwave connection to both of the facilities. Given how much increased activity has been seen at Area 51 as of late, it makes sense that this facility would be undergoing a renovation to support further operations, since it seemed like it hadn't been touched really in decades. I don't hear any construction noises yet, so I'm not sure if I'll find any personnel up there, but I'm going to try and remain as stealthy and low profile as possible. Again, as long as I don't set foot on the road or directly on top of the mesa, I shouldn't technically be violating any laws here, and all imagery will be captured from public land. I can tell this hike is mostly going to entail climbing over a lot of boulders, which is a big reason I didn't want to do this back in January or February or whenever it was I was here last. I thought about sending the drone up first to scout, but ultimately I decided it was going to be too risky. Mainly I'm worried about the possibility of frequencies up there interfering with the signal and losing contact with it, so I'll be going up blind, but that's okay. Well, there's some stagnant water on the way up. I don't know if that's leftover rainwater or if that's a byproduct of whatever they're doing up on the mesa. Some sort of piece of debris, looks like a piece of a duct. Getting pretty close now. We can make out the top of the fence line just over that ridge. All right, well, here we are. I can tell they did a lot of work up here. It looks like they completely demolished those older buildings that were visible on the satellite photo. And this fence looks like it's brand new in my opinion. Well, that rock scramble definitely brought us up in elevation quite a bit. We're sitting at about 7,300 feet. And behind me is a sweeping panoramic view of the old Central Nevada test site. Continuing down the fence line, I'm at the main complex now here. Looks like there's still quite a bit of construction equipment left on site, so I guess there's still quite a bit of work to be done. And standing right next to this dome, you really appreciate its size. It's absolutely massive. All right, well, I've made it to the summit of Halligan Mesa. Another one down on my quest to climb all the notable mountains around the NTTR. So anyways, unless I see anything else particularly noteworthy, I'm probably going to wrap it up here. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Andrews with Uncanny Expeditions, signing off.